Fight fans, we are back for another edition of the MMA Huddle, and let's get a bit excited, Will. Let's have a no pants party because it's UFC Liverpool coming up, and we are going, my friend.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Always, live fights is always awesome. I'm looking forward to getting down to Liverpool. It's a place that I love. I've been there many times before, a while back, and it's a kind of special week as well with the football and me being a Liverpool fan and the final on the weekend. But yeah, like we had a little talk beforehand. I'm kind of a wee bit salty about the card a little bit because I think there's fights that should have been on this card that really should have been on. Like we spoke about, it was Nathaniel Wood and David Tamer. They're two guys, like two good prospects in Europe, and you're putting them in New York. When considering there's 5 days apart from an event, it makes no sense to me. If you put them fights on there, it rounds out the main card really nicely, actually. But it's what it is. You can't always get what you want, I suppose. But I'm looking forward to getting down to Liverpool. Live fights is always awesome, and it's going to be a good bank holiday weekend in Liverpool.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in Liverpool, so the atmosphere is going to be incredible. And also, don't forget, people, to hit that subscribe button down below if you're watching us on YouTube, or if you're on SoundCloud or iTunes, hit that subscribe button, please. And the card itself, like I say, there's a lot of fighters on there. I've interviewed a lot of them so far. I'll probably interview a few more. Will be doing some interviews when we're over there. So please check out those. Give them a watch and a like. It's always important. But we also have a competition for people. The first time of doing this. So we're going to give it a go. And we're going to see how it goes. Right. The UFC weigh-ins are on the Saturday, folks. You can go to the Q&A and the weigh-ins. Because we have tickets. We have free spare tickets for you, okay? Is it free? Yeah, well, free spare tickets, all right? All you have to do is go on to either our Twitter, or Instagram, or Facebook, whichever one you have. Give it a follow. Give it a like. And also, if you're on YouTube and you don't use the other social media, so to speak, in that format, give a subscribe and make a comment below. That would be important. If you're on SoundCloud or iTunes, not too great with find that stuff out. So jump on, like I say, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. Give us a follow. And I will be posting on those social medias this kind of information that you can win this. So give it a share, and that is what you need to do, or a retweet, or whatever the heck it is, a repost, whatever you need to do. Okay, folks? That is how we're going to do it. It's our first time, so bear with us if we mess it up. But if you win, you have to obviously be in Liverpool to win. Kind of helps. So if you're coming to watch the fights and you can't get the weigh-in tickets, we've got 3 of them. 3 of them, and it's going to cost you nothing apart from a couple of clicks on your phone. All right? Now, Will, let's get down to UFC Liverpool. Let's kick off the card. They're kicking off with the ladies, from what I know of the card. We have Gina Mazina and against Lena Landsberg. Gina and Lena are throwing it down in the women's bantamweight division. I'll let you kick off, bro, and then I'll jump in on a second bout.
Yeah, a matchup I've looked into a couple of fights. I obviously looked into the last fights both girls fought, and it's pretty low level to start off with. We've had these kind of fights before where I know in Glasgow we had was it Leslie Smith and Amanda Lemos, and that I didn't expect much of that fight, and it was a tear up from the get go. Lena Landsberg, she's getting on. She's quite old. She's been around a long time.
Yeah. She's
taken a lot of punishment as well in the Cyborg fight, the Pudilova fight. She got her face battered in, and Aspen Ladd really just kind of had a way with her. Gina Mazzani's coming off a win as well, so I think this is going to be super close. I don't think there's going to be a hell of a lot between them. Lena Landsberg has the kind of capability to put against the cage and kind of controlled a little bit. I think that's where Mazzani, she used to be a professional wrestler, so she might use some of the wrestling techniques to try and make it to the ground. I see it being really sloppy. I see it being not the greatest fights, but it being very close. So I think either girl, if they win here, I think it's going to be a split or a very close, contentious decision. I think I'm going to go with Gina Mazzani. But honestly, I think I could flip a coin. And I think it could pick the winner quite easily. It's a tough fight to pick. I'm going to go with Mazzani, very closely though.
it is a tough fight to pick because it is almost a very stylistic matchup, like you say. Because Gina's striking isn't that crisp, but Lena has got good striking. She has got crisp striking, good elbows, all that nasty stuff that you like. It is a case of if Gina can get her to the cage, stop that kind of close that down and stop that fight game of Lena that Lena wants to do. Lena wants the space to throw her stuff. I'm going to go with Lena though for the decision. Pretty much, I think that she could probably stop Gina from getting her down. I think she probably just has enough in there, and she's a bit, like I say, veteran, so to speak, being around a bit with the competition with not just MMA but her martial arts career. I think she could probably just get the better on Gina and get this decision. I'm going to go with, and again, I'm going to say it'll probably be like maybe a 30-27, but it won't be what it says. It'll be quite tight, but I think Lena's just going to get the crispest shots off in the end. Next matchup in the middleweight division. Bit surprised that our boy here, Elias Theodorou, is super low on the card, but then again, means he gets to watch the rest of the fight card. He's fighting Trevor Smith. Firstly, though, Will, your picture has froze again. I'm going to blame you. What's going on here? What's going on with your Skype, son?
I don't know.
I know, yeah. What's going on? So, there we go. That's the one, my man. So, like I said, Elias against Trevor Smith. This fight has the makings of not being the best fight, because Trevor Smith is not a great striker. He is more of a guy who wants to get you down and get on top of you and uses grappling, so to speak, to kind of win the fight. But Elias he's an elusive striker. He's not that easy to hit. He's very short with his strike. He won't keep the combinations high. He keeps he's really one or two shots and he's out. And I think it's going to be an awkward night for Trevor because he's going to want to try and close him down, chase him down. And I think Elias is just going to try and use those kicks that he uses quite well, to be honest with you, to keep guys away from him. But I'd like to see Elias come back to when he was like in tough and that, because I've got to be honest, if we can get that Elias out again with the confidence, he's been bumped up to rank 15 in the rankings. You know, if he can get himself a bit of confidence, he should get the win here. If I'm honest, he should finish Trevor Smith, in my opinion. Trevor Smith ain't a big finisher. He's more of just a decision guy. But I think Elias should finish this fight. If he fights the way he could with a bit more confidence, hopefully he's not a little bit more output, a little bit more in there. I'm going to go for a late stoppage with Elias Theodorou, a late stoppage, like third round late. I'm going to go crazy. I know it's not what anyone thinks, but I'm going for it.
Yeah. It's pretty much like a grinder v grinder kind of fight this year. Elias is kind of known for being a kind of grinding type style, but he has faced a better opposition. When you look at Trevor Smith's record, his biggest win is Chris Camozzi.
And Chris did do nothing in that fight, and Chris couldn't even be bothered. It looked like Chris was like, "I'm already leaving. I don't care." Yeah,
it's Trevor Smith. Actually, is a guy that I'm actually quite fond of, kind of personally. When I was in Las Vegas in the MGM, I think it was like 2 a.m, and I went down to McDonald's. So they've got one right in the middle of the hotel, and standing waiting on my order, and him and his mum are there. And his mum is the nicest woman as well, and we spoke for 10 minutes because I think he remembered me from Dublin when he fought there as well. So, really nice guy, but it's like, as a fighter, it's like I watched one fight of each of these guys, and I say to myself, I'm not watching any more because the tape is absolutely shit. I'm not wasting my time watching fights like that. When I could be watching more exciting fighters later up in the card. But like, the one thing I do like about Elias, he kind of keeps lighting his feet. He's fairly good kicking game. I think that's what he has to do here. Trevor Smith's going to want to push him against the cage and look to grind him and take him down. I find that Elias is a big guy. Trevor's a big guy as well, but Elias is a thick dude, a serious, legit weight cut down to that division. I like Elias to win via decision, but I think it's going to be slop. I don't think it's going to be like a fight of the night type thing. A little bit surprised he's low down on the card, to be honest with you. Yeah. But they're kind of weird, like that they've did it with UFC 225. They moved Curtis Blades into the prelims, and and like Sergio Pettis is on Fight Pass. It's like, I don't know what they're doing at the minute, but I'm going to go with Elias Theodorou for the win.
See, I would have thought they put with Elias and Trevor on the main card because they're overseas, because it's a Fox card, and I would have thought they would have put them on there to attract you know, the audience, American audience. But like you say, mate, Elias does big cut, mate. When I rolled with him in Belfast, he was 217, I think it was, when he got on the scales, and I was about the same anyway. So we were rolling, but it's a big cut down to 185, and it's a big cut for me down there. Next up we have is the ladies. It's going to be a bit of a wild cheer for this girl when she steps up. But you've got Gillian Robertson stepping up against Molly McCann. And this is almost like a classic striker grappler, isn't it, bro? I'm like, look, this fight I'm looking forward to. But tell me how you see it going.
I'm looking forward to seeing Molly get her kind of opportunity. And this is, when I woke up this morning, I watched the fights from last night that I didn't get to see. This was the first load of fights I decided to watch. And like I say, Molly McCann, she brings a lot of people, obviously from Liverpool. She's got a big fan base there. I like Gillian Robertson.
Okay, let's hear it.
For a massive upset here. I think when I watched Molly McCann's fights, she's losing rounds. If you watch the Lacey Schuchman fight, she gets dropped with a beautiful counter shot. She gets taken down. It was the exact same in the fight against, I think it was Souza. So she got hit with some big shots in that one there. She's facing people that are coming in fairly late notice as well. Like that Souza, I think she flew in like 3 days or 4 days notice from South America. Missed weight, but then she fought Bryony Terrell, who really hadn't fought in a couple of years.
She's a 115er, to be fair.
Yeah.
Bryony.
So yeah, like, and
she fought Kate Jackson as well, Bryony.
Yeah.
Kate Jackson's a flyweight, and she's a
size flyweight as well. Crazy. Yeah. And Gillian Robertson, she's young. She's got not as much experience as what Molly's got. Molly's obviously fought on a kind of bigger stage, not a bigger stage, but maybe a bigger audience. Being at home, got all that pressure on there. She was on the Ultimate Fighter. She lost to Barb Honchak. So I think she's got a little bit less, obviously, fight experience, but she's fought in the UFC before. She hasn't got the jitters with that. All the pressure's on Molly here.
Yeah, and, huge. Yeah,
Gillian, when you go back and watch that last fight, that was a beautiful, absolute beautiful arm lock she caught in him.
So nice.
So I think she's got a huge opportunity here to like come in and beat Molly McCann. I think Molly has got so many openings you can capitalise. Now, in saying that, I think the UFC has given her a really good matchup, because if she comes out here and performs and beats the aggressive Molly that we kind of know and love, this could be really exciting. She's going to come forward, and it could absolutely tear the roof off the place very early on the night. I've got a funny feeling that Gillian Robertson's just going to calm everything down, going to counter strike her a little bit, and then eventually I think it's going to go to the ground. And I think she's going to work Molly McCann on the ground. Now I know she comes from Next Generation, where they've got a lot of good grapplers there, but this is my one big kind of play here that I think that. I think it'd be pretty crazy if Molly lost this fight in Liverpool. I think it'd put a bit of a dampener on the place a little bit, but it's what it is. I'm going to go for a kind of big shock, Gillian Robertson to win here.
Okay, I like it. Do you know what? I see where you come from. I swear, when I watched Gillian as well, I kind of went, oh man, I don't know how Molly's going to handle that. You know, that grappling bit. I was like, I just think Gillian's just, because she's young as well. She's got that no fear. She goes for any locks, goes for them, just constant movement. I'm with you. I'm going to sway just to Molly, because the problem is, like you say, you've got to get it down to the ground. And I have faith that Molly has worked on her takedown defense. I have faith that she's bothered to just work those hips, get those underhooks, and make sure that doesn't happen. I've got faith in her. So I'm going to go with Molly McCann. Keeping on the feet. If she keeps on the feet, I think this is where Gillian start getting lit up, and that's the problem. Gillian will start. I think she'll get lit up, and I don't know if she. I think Molly's got good power in her hands. She overwhelms you. She's not like an Amanda Nunes, where she hits you and your world ends. She's more of a like abundance of power, like 80% hits. It's like pop pop. I think she might get a TKO. Late second, third round, Molly McCann like TKO, just with just more of an overwhelming of strikes. She gets her against the cage and just referees like right jumping in.
Yeah. But it's like as well. It's like I like the thing. What I like about Robertson as well. She's coming from a legit camp. Yeah, she's coming from American top teams, so she's sparring probably good people as well. 100% want Molly to win the fight. this no. If I had to pick one person to win in this whole card, it's probably Molly McCann. I just think she's got herself a tough matchup, and like say, a lot of pressures on her shoulders here. So, yeah.
It's crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
Next up, bro, we've got Bradley Scott with a late step in. Another, like, we were, honestly, when that happened this week, folks, when we started seeing guys dropping out, I thought, it's happening. Always goddamn happens to these UK cards, these late freaking step-ins. Anyway, he's fighting Carlo Pedersoli. I want to say Pedersoli. Pedersoli, I will say Pedersoli. Yeah. Carlo Pedersoli. Dude, I like the matchup, man. Like, this is a good goddamn fight. Like, Carlo recently fought against Dalby on Cage Warriors, and he looked
banger of a fight.
Really good though. Like, man, that dude can take a hit. He can hit. He's got grappling. Like, he's got a great skill set, man. I think Bradley's got a bit of a tough fight here. I know he's coming in short notice, but and Bradley's going down to welterweight again, so I'm interested to see how Bradley looks at welterweight, how he feels, how much does he put back on. But man, I think Carlo's going to put a good fight. I think this does not finish. I think this goes like a 3-round potential fight of the night, because the problem you got with Brad Scott is he's too tough for his own good. He's got a head like a coconut and he can take a hit. And then you got Carlo. Well, he's proven it. He can take a good crack from Dalby. He took a good few licks. But man, I think we're going to see an absolute rock'em sock'em beating 7 bells out of each other, man. I'm going for a decision win for Bradley, because I just think Bradley's actually quite good, to be fair. I think he's not a bad fighter at all. But I would not be surprised if Carlo shocks everyone. Dude is legit.
Yeah, it's when I can't remember who Brad Scott. Oh, Salim Tuhari. When he fell out, I was thinking, right, and I thought that fight was going to be like completely taken off, and then I saw Graham Boylan put his numbers up like he did with Craig White. I thought, well, so they're obviously bringing somebody in. I had no idea that it would be Carlo, who, like we were saying, that fight with Dalby was a great fight. I thought he won it more convincingly than a split, to be honest with you. I thought he probably won a unanimous kind of decision over Dalby in Sweden there, but it's what it is. Really good fighter, just a solid all-around fighter. He caught my attention last year when he fought in Italy, because he fights out of Italy, and I caught him in the Venator show there. And then obviously I seen that he'd signed with Cage Warriors and had a great fight with Dalby. Brad Scott's a guy that's had so much shit that's been going on.
Rough 6 months.
Outside of the octagon, inside the octagon, the guy can't get a fight. People are pulling out. He wasn't getting paid. He was like struggling in real life. It was actually pretty shitty to see. And the UFC did him a solid by giving him, I think it was giving him some money, and Reebok gave him money.
It was like a percentage of his fight purse, wasn't it? I can't remember what it was, but it was there because he was basically saying, "I've just paid for all these fight cams. I'm skint now, and I've not got no fights." And do you know what? To be fair, that should be something in place. You know, if you get a late notice, if you get a late withdrawal, like on the same, like last couple of days, there should be something in the contract that says you get X% of your fight purse back to pay to cover costs of the fight camp. Yeah,
because he's not one of these guys that usually stays at home. He goes to Thailand. I think he goes out to the MMA lab, so he's going overseas to get his training. And like that Marshman fight, I think it fell out on fight day. And then the Tuhari fight fell out like a week before, so it must be tough, mentally tough, going into this fight with just that there. But him maybe knowing he's got a fight might actually kind of focus him a little bit more. And
he's pumped. I was on Facebook, bro. I was on Facebook, and he put status on it, and he is so pumped for the fight, like talking about it. Yeah.
So it's a good fight. I think it's going to be close. I like Pedersoli. I don't know. I just think that the mental edge, the thing that kind of scares me a little bit is the fact that Pedersoli is coming off a fight a few weeks ago, and it was a tough fight. He took some licks. It was a tough 15 minutes, but he got the decision. And Brad Scott is a guy that's really fighting for kind of a lot here. This is a big fight for him actually. If he needs to get a win, and I don't think the UFC cut him after. If he loses it, but that was a big loss to Jack Hermanson where he got knocked out pretty brutally. I like Carlo. I think it's going to be a close split decision. I think he starts quick. I think Bradley comes in late and maybe makes it closer than it should. But I'm going to take a shot on Carlo Pedersoli here. And I think he could win a split decision.
I honestly, mate, I only picked Scott but not by much. It is so tough because like, when you saw him perform against Dalby, you kind of went, that dude is now on, because Dalby, like say, fought in the UFC. So he's fought. If he's putting that performance, I know Dalby had his issues outside of the fight game before that fight, but even still, like he looked good. Next up, we've got in the middleweight division, we've got Dan Kelly against Tom Breeze. So Tom Breeze has come back finally after that his ACL surgery on his knee or whatever it was. He had the time off, which is a shame. And but the good thing is, he's now at middleweight. He's not cutting down a welterweight because he's a freaking monster of a human being. How he did 170 is beyond me. He's like a Anthony Johnson. He's massive. So how do you see though Dan Kelly, the guy who's like the dad bod of the with the surprising record, against Tom Breeze?
I think it's a tough fight for Tom Breeze. I really do. After 2 years out, coming back against a judo guy who's really tough to get to the ground, so you're going to have to rely on your striking. And the thing is with Dan Kelly, his striking's not great, but he's effective with it. It's weird. He throws like low chopping leg kicks, he set up strikes, and he does enough to win fights. And he's a guy that I keep expecting to fall off, but he never does. He never falls off. He keeps on winning fights. Now, saying that, he has lost 2 in a row, but they are two legit ranked guys. And well, Elias is now number 15, and Derek Brunson, he's I think in probably the top 10 round about there as well. So to be fair, he's doing well for himself. I think that he's just a tough guy to face. 2 year absence from the sport, big knee injury. Also a kind of mental thing as well. He fell out. Who was he supposed to face on fight day, and that fight fell through? Tom Breeze. Let me see. Was it Nakamura? No,
he fought Nakamura.
He did. There was not a card he was meant to fight on, and it got pulled.
Oh, he got pulled, didn't he?
Bambosi, Olawale Bambosi. That was it.
Didn't he get pulled?
He was supposed to fight him on fight day, and then he got pulled.
He got pulled, didn't he? For health.
For that. Yeah. So it's just it's a big mental thing. I think physically he's levels above the dad bod, pretty much. But I think it's a really tough fight for him. But if the thing with Thomas, he's really long. He's obviously got a lot of power. We've seen that in previous fights when he came to the UFC. He's got a long straight shot on him. Could put down Dan Kelly. Dan Kelly's been, I think he's did majority of this camp over in Ireland at SBG as well. So tough fight for Tom Breeze. I'm going to pick him, but honestly not confident. I think he's got a tough fight here.
Yeah, he has got to fight, and also his gym, the gym where he trains, shut down as well, didn't it? Because he trains with Leon Edwards and those boys, and their gym in Birmingham shut down or something like that. So, and they had to move. They had to move somewhere to one of the other like affiliate gyms or whatever they use. So, I don't know how much of an effect that had, but maybe travel comes into it. You've got these little things like where he used to get an hour's rest, he only gets 30 minutes now, and all that stuff. You never know. Man, it is. There's a lot of factors outside of the fight, man. And they're too big to not take account of. My concern is Dan Kelly does those little inside leg kicks to knock you off balance, to come with the punches, to get the grappling going. That's all he wants to do, is get hold of you. And when he gets hold of you, then he can start to feel a bit more comfortable. Man, I'm interested to see how Tom can keep that distance. That's all I want to see. How confident is he in that leg? I want to see him springing around. Will he be throwing kicks with the confidence of landing them? I know you do it in training, but when fight comes, it's very different.
It's coming off his first loss as well. So it's a lot of kind of mental things that are going on and getting into this fight for him, and he's just got a tough guy that's just going to be. If he starts quick, we have seen that.
Land a couple of good shots.
We have seen that Daniel Kelly is put down a little bit. He's been put down with big punches. I think that Breeze has got some power to him, but I just think it's a tough fight. Yeah,
I think that Breeze has got great boxing for the fight game itself in MMA. I'm thinking we're going to see Breeze just do a lot of boxing here, and I think he's going to. I just think he's going to just pick away at Dan Kelly. He's pretty much going to box him, no kicks, because he doesn't want to get the kicks caught to then initiate Dan Kelly to try and get the takedown. I think he's just want to keep peppering with shots, box him, use the footwork, keep it nice wide stance, get out there, get in and out, and just pepper him with the boxing. And I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to go Tom Breeze, first round, put him away. I know it's a bit wild, but I know it's. I've been looking at it, and I think there's a lot of factors into it. I just think Tom might just release all that aggression, and he's just going to go and box him out and box him up. But the problem is, Dan gets a couple of Tom Breeze hits. Man, it will change anyone's day in that middleweight division. Tom Breeze hitting you. He's big for middleweight. Never mind welterweight. He's a big middleweight as well. Like, I remember when I stood next to him, and I was like, "Oh my gosh." What are you? What are you? You're ginormous. He could be a light heavyweight probably if he wanted to. He'd be massive. But yeah, I think that's going to be a factor. I think you're right. It is a lot to play into his mind. But I'm hoping he's strong enough to get through that. And I think first round, I'm going to go crazy. It's a random one, but I think that boxing skill of Tom's just good, man. I think he might even counter-strike Dan coming in. That's another thing I was thinking about. Interesting match coming up next, though. Claudio Silva against Nordine Taleb. Now, if you think about it, the last time Claudio fought, he beat Leon Edwards. Now, that was before the UFC had Reebok deal in, so it's not too recent. Now,
3.5 years.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's a long time. My problem with this is, for Claudio, is his conditioning wasn't great then. Like, he looked pretty rubbish. His grappling is one to be feared. No matter who it is, he's got very good grappling. Transition, his jiu-jitsu is so good. Like, he got mounted and was just, like, on Leon Edwards. Leon couldn't get him off him, like. But he's got to get him down. He's got to get Nordine Taleb down. And I don't think he's going to get Taleb down. Taleb is strong as an ox. He is a strong dude. Great striking. Man, I think Nordine's going to light Claudio up, man. I think he's going to have a field day. I think Silva's going to get tight. I think he's going to tie it quick. He shoots for takedowns as well. He goes for grappling trips. I don't think he's going to get it. I just don't see how Taleb can lose this fight, really. I think Claudio's going to be... Timing's going to be off. I think conditioning's going to be a big factor when he gets in there. And the power of Taleb, I'm going to go Taleb with a finish, first, second round, man. Honestly, I just don't see it going that well for Silva.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think this is a good matchup for Taleb. Like Silva, I totally forgot he was still in the UFC until I heard
everyone did, yeah.
Yeah, and then went back and watched. I remember being in London for his fight with Brad Scott as well, and that seems like an absolute lifetime ago.
Yeah.
And that was like 2014, so... Nordine Taleb, I think, is a really good, solid fighter, and he's not far off that top 15, I don't think, in the welterweight division. I think he puts, well, who knows, he might be round about kind of top 20, but when he gets you hurt, he goes for it, like he did with Danny Roberts last time out. We've seen him against Eric.
Yeah, and he
picks his shots really well, and he's kind of one of those typical kind of tri-star fighters. He's on the move, he'll point fight you really well, but I think once Silva starts gassing here, I think he's going to light him up, and I think that's when he takes him out. So I'm going to go with Nordine Taleb be a finish like you, kind of rounds 1 and 2, somewhere in about there.
Yeah, it's not going to go any other way. Kicking off the main card, though, we have Eric Spicely, another dad bod, against Darren Stewart. How do you see this fight going down, my man? Interesting fight. Darren Stewart knows this is kind of it must be last chance saloon for him now. So, well, he signed a new contract. This is the first fight of his new contract with the UFC, 4-fight deal.
That's weird. That's a weird one considering what his record in the UFC and. But
his last fight, it was a war. Maybe they kind of just.
He's lost 3 in a row, and that surprises me that he's signed a new contract. I can't see him kicking around the UFC with a 4-fight losing streak. I just don't see it. And to be honest with you, he's been stopped. That Barroso fight in London was absolutely dog shit. That was horrible. And by the way, his first fight with Barroso, that was bullshit as well, because he should have won that fight.
Fair and square. Fair and square. Load of horse shit.
Carl Roberson got him rear naked choke, and then he had that war with Julian Marquez, which was actually a really fun fight, and they got fight of the night as well. So Eric Spicely, you know what he's going to want to do. He's going to get you to the ground. Once he gets you to the ground, he is he's a really tough guy to go off you, but you can also finish this guy as well. I think this is his last fight on his contract as well, so he'll be looking to put in an impressive performance to try and get that new deal with the UFC. He's coming off 2 losses as well. He's coming off 2 losses where he got stopped as well, so it's a tough fight. I think I'm going to go, I want to say Darren Stewart, but I think that Spicely, I think eventually once it gets him to the ground, I think he's going to dwarf Darren Stewart a little bit. And I think it's going to be really hard to get Spicely off him. And I think he has got a little bit of talent down there with some of his submissions. So I'm going to go Eric Spicely via sub late round 2.
Okay, not a bad one. Well, I interviewed Darren Stewart, so you can check it out, people, on our social media, so to speak, on our YouTube and all that jazz. I spoke to him, and I spoke to our vet, and I tell you what, Eric Spicely is his single leg. That's his single. That's what he goes for: single leg takedown, single leg takedown. If you can stop a single leg takedown, you pretty much stop Eric Spicely. Like, that's his go-to bread and butter. There is so many ways to stop a single leg takedown, and that is something Darren's been working on. That's something we talked about. I've got faith in Darren. He's been dealing with a mind coach as well. He said there was a lot of things. He was speaking with like a sports psychologist, mind coach, to help bridge the little gaps that he thought he was missing. And like he said, he was young coming into the UFC in his career, so he's had to learn the hard way, so to speak. But do you know what? He said his last fight, that lit a fire in him. It was what he needed to have happen, and he thinks. I'm going to go with Darren on this one. I think he's got a fire in him because he was like, yeah, honestly, there was fire coming out of him in that interview. I think he's going to stop Spicely with those single leg takedowns, and I think he's just going to crack Spicely so hard it's going to put Spicely off. I'm going to go Darren Stewart. Second round, third round, he's going to stop Spicely. Get past that first round, Spicely's not going to take him down. I don't think he's going to be a little bit too tired, and I think Darren Stewart just box him up, and I think second, third round, Darren Stewart. I know. I'm going to go for it. It's either or. They're both having a bit of a bad run, but I'm going to go for Darren Stewart here. Bantamweight division, though. We've got Davy Grant against Mr. Manny Bermudez. So, Davy Grant, he's one of them guys that has got a lot of talent. Out for a bit with injuries, just bad luck. He looked great in Tough when he was back when he was on there. And I still think he looks great now, to be fair, when he's competing. It's good to see him back, but he's fighting a guy, Manny Bermudez, who's on a good tear at the moment. Manny wants to get you to the ground. Davy Grant is really good on the ground. So I think that this fight kind of favours Davy Grant a bit more, because Davy Grant, I think, has got a good strike inside compared to Manny Bermudez. So that I think on the grappling side of things, they kind of balance well. They kind of clash, but then I give it a bit more to Davy. But even though I know Manny's got that confidence, that win streak coming behind him, it's not an easy one for me to pick here, because I think Manny just goes for that takedown fight. He shoots so far away and puts really poor takedown attempts in. I don't think Davy Grant is too fearful to go down with him. I just hope that Davy Grant can fight that to stay up. It's not an easy one. I kind of think that Manny might sneak in a submission win here, like a sneaky submission win, but I've got to go and try to have a bit of confidence and go with Davy Grant, get a decision maybe.
I think it's a close fight. I think when you look at Davy, he's definitely got an advantage striking. But I think that Manny definitely. I don't think that Davy's bad on the ground, but I think Manny is really, really good on the ground. I think he's got good pressure. I think he's got kind of good kind of movements on the ground where he kind of manipulates you to move in a certain way for you to get certain positions, and then eventually he'll find a choke. It was a tough fight, I thought, against Morales, a UFC debut. Showed that he's definitely got some work on the feet. If he can round that out with his ground skills, the guy is going to be a really tough fighter to beat. I just think I see this finding its way to the ground, and I just think that Manny Bermudez is the better guy down there as well. He fights regular. This is like his third fight, I think, in 2018 or late. I think 2017 into 2018. So the guy's been fighting. Davy Grant hasn't fought in like 18 months, and he's obviously been injured. he said fights fall out with him, fall through as well. So I'm going to go Manny. I think once it hits the ground, maybe later in the fight, I just think his position and his kind of pinpoint skills at manoeuvring you around to get submissions is really going to help here. And I think he finds his submission. I'd like to see Davey get a win, but I just think Manny is a really good guy on the ground. I think once it gets there, he's going to have an advantage. So Manny Bermudez, round 2, rear naked choke.
Yeah, that's the problem I have in my head. I'm just like, submission. I just can't get that off my head. Next up we have Jason Knight against Makwan Amikani. Dude, how do you see this scrap go down?
Good fight. About time. Makwan Amikani is a guy that when he came in I was really a fan of, and then I've kind of completely went off him. I don't know what it is, whatsoever. It's just, I don't think he puts in... I don't think he did before. He put in the full time into his camps that he should have. He was kind of playing the playboy kind of MMA fighter type of thing. But from what I'm hearing, he spent this full camp at SPG, like full camp, not like 2-3 weeks, 3 solid months in Ireland, away from family, sacrificing some things. And he's also coming off a loss against Arnold Allen. That was a really close fight, a good fight.
Yeah, it was a great fight.
I really enjoyed it actually. But it's like, that was it. He fights once a year. This guy, there's no injuries, so I don't understand why he's fighting once a year. The thing as well is, he really improving that much by being in the gym? We'll find out in this fight here. But he's got a tough opponent in Jason Knight, who I thought last time out there was definitely something up with him. I thought he was either Gabriel Benitez was really good, which I think he is. He showed that last night. But
he must have I'll tell you what it was, mate. It was. And he had a strep throat, and he took antibiotics the week before the fight, and it just killed him. He said he'd never done antibiotics before, and like that, and he said I had nothing in me. Again, folks, I interviewed him, and it's on the interview. It just killed him, that strep throat. Yeah.
So yeah, I just think it's a for Makwan. I just think it's a bit of a tough fight. Of course, that Jason Knight's coming off 2 losses as well, so he's going to be chomping at the bit to get back in that win column. And it's a guy that he fights like crazy since he's come into the UFC. He fights all the time.
Every 3 months, it averages.
And he's bought good guys. He's beat good guys like Scaly, Dan Hooker, Jimmy Ehlers. I thought was a good win back in the day when he first came in a couple of years ago. He's just got that non-stop style where he's going to keep coming for it. If he's 100% fit and nothing's wrong with him, I think he's going to give Makwan problems. Yeah. But the thing is with Makwan, you have to be very careful with that guy because he is athletic. When he wants to be, he is dangerous. He's fairly decent everywhere. I just think that Jason Knight will want this fight more, personally. Yeah. And I'm going to pick him. Does he stop Makwan? Maybe. But I've got Jason Knight to win the fight. I think pretty handily as well. I've
got Jason Knight all day long.
Yeah,
I don't see Makwan as a proper pro. I know he's in the UFC, people, but he's not one a year. It's not. What's that? He's not even bothered. Like he's like Nick Hine. He's like Nick Hine, just fights once a year, like randomly every fight. I'm like, look, like I don't care. I'd rather have someone else in that featherweight division fighting more regularly, like i.e. Chris Fishgold. Get Chris Fishgold in. He'll fight more than once a year, and he'll put on great fights, good striking, good grappling. Way more entertaining fight in my opinion. I think Jason Knight way more beautiful. I think he's got really good striking, absolute monster with the striking, and he's so aggressive. And Amir Khani won't like that. He won't like that. And the thing is, Jason Knight's got grappling for days. So good at the grappling submission. He's got Alan Belcher rolling with him. Do you know? And Alan Belcher is a great grappler. People people might not appreciate how good Alan Belcher is as a grappler. He's very good. He's got some great people around him. Jason Knight. Honestly, I think Amir Khani, I don't care if he spends 20 weeks at SPG. It's just a gym. Do you know what I mean? It's not everyone there's Conor, and that's the problem with that gym. It's a label. It doesn't mean that everyone's Conor. You go to TriStar, not everyone's George St. Pierre. It's just that's just the problem you've got with it. I think Jason Knight's going to go and have a field day with Amir Khani, and Amir Khani's not going to like it. And I think he's going to get. I think he's going to get his loss. He's going to get a loss here, Amir Khani. I think he gets stopped as well. I think Jason Knight's just going to either submit him or he's going to knock him out. One of the two. He's just going to go. He's going to go all broke on him. Next up, we have a stonkingly good fight, in my opinion. Two young, talented featherweights, Arnold Allen against Mads Burnell. Heck of a matchup, mate, this. I like the matchup, bro. Arnold Allen, so happy he's finally fighting again, even though he's got bum fluff. I interviewed both of these fighters. You can check this interview out. Arnold Allen, you know, he was meant to fight in the US, but the fight, there's like a late, his paperwork got put in late, so his visa got kicked back, all this jazz. Mads Burnell is a good opponent for him, man. Like, Mads has got good grappling, good striking, but I do feel Allen's a little bit more well-rounded. I think Allen's a little bit better in all aspects. And I think Arnold's going to be finally getting, like, potentially top 15 this year coming. In the next 12 months, I think we'll see Arnold pushing top 10, getting those big fights, you know, getting pushed onto the kind of US cards, maybe getting on those pay-per-view cards. Yeah, I just see Arnold Allen getting this win here. I don't know if he gets a decision or if he finishes. I want to go with decision win Arnold Allen. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, actually, for me, I think it's a little bit of a mismatch. I think it's a really good matchup, actually, for Arnold. Mads Burnell's shown that he can't make that weight yet. So he's going to kill himself to make 145 again. If he missed it pretty badly last time out, hopefully that changes and he does it a lot more just healthier, better this time and makes the weight. But until I see him make 145 and consistently do it, I think someone like Arnold, who's did it in the past, he probably knows what he's doing, comes from a better gym, he fights out a better gym with better trainers and better sparring partners. Definitely what Mads Burnell definitely is. I did pick Mads against Mike Santiago last time, but everybody seemed to be picking Mike Santiago. I was thinking Mads Burnell can get a hold of you, take you down, and keep you there, and he did that.
Yeah.
And I don't think he can do that with Arnold Allen. You've seen him in the past where I think back in Cage Warrior, somebody tried to get a hold of his legs and he's kicking out, but at the same time he's punching you and beating your ass with it. He's one of my money dogs. Like, really, he's one of those money guys where I've bet money on him pretty much every fight in the UFC, and he's came through, beat Amir Khani in that good fight there. But it's another guy I want to see more of. This once a year shit, for someone as young as Arnold, who is one of the soundest guys you'll ever meet. I don't know, he's had injuries and he's had visa problems.
Broke the hand, then the visa, and
and then he had some personal stuff that it was going down as well. Because he's had like big matchups. I mean, Mirsad Bektic, I think top 15 guy very, very soon. I like Arnold Allen. I think he's just a bit better everywhere. Has to be careful if it goes to ground, because that's what Mads will want to do and keep him there. I just think he's too athletic. I think he's going to be too quick. I think he can maintain through 15 minutes if it goes that long. I think he stops Mads Burnell. I think he can knock him out in the middle part of this fight. Once he's over committing for a takedown, I think they'll catch him with a shot and follow up with ground and pound and stop him.
Okay, nice. Like this. Okay, co-main event. Neil Magny, Craig White, hit us.
I think it's great that Craig White, the one thing on Tuesday when we found out that he was going to be stepping in here, now it's not the name that everybody, if you're going to the event, you're wanting guys that are like a Masvidal. Masvidal would have been great, but it is what it is. You've got to look at the location. It was like a week and a half before the fight. It is what it is, and I think getting someone like Craig White in, who is, I think, domestically is respected a hell of a lot in the region over here. So I was very happy that he got the opportunity to come in here and fight in the UFC. Big stage, no pressure on him. He's got a co-main event against a guy who is a big ranked guy who's won big fights against big opposition as well. Carlos Condit, who held the interim belt, Kelvin Gastelum, and he's one of those guys that it still baffles me when you watch him in The Ultimate Fighter, and he's progressed through, and he's fought the best guys in that division. Lawrence Larkin, Johnny Hendricks at the time, Rafael dos Anjos, you name it, Hector Lombard, and he's made improvements, and you can see the vast improvements he's made. Craig White, he's on a run in Europe and Cage Warriors. He's been taking dudes out left, right and centre as well. once he's got you hurt, he's all over you and he's swinging bombs. That fight with Matt Inman, I loved the finishing sequence. Caught him with a shot, put him against the cage, and no fucks given, just throwing absolute big hooks until the ref had to jump in and stop the fight.
I
and
just
then
gave Matt no chance.
Then you've seen in that fight against Montanani, got taken down. It's the one thing that's kind of shown out a little bit here for me is he is easy to take down, but he is very dangerous off his back. And it's the same with the Hakan Foss one. That was a beautiful submission as well.
Yes.
I just think it's a really tough matchup for him on 10 days notice or however long, maybe 10, 12 days, where if you go watch the Magny fights, he's shown that he can put you against the cage. Got some beautiful trips. He's got some beautiful jiu-jitsu himself, and he's faced the best jiu-jitsu guys. He was supposed to face Gunny here. He faced Maia, where he got totally wiped out by Damian Maia, but he's came back and he's improved. He can control you in the ground. I just think it's a tough fight for Craig White on such short notice. You go back, like I went back to Cage Warriors 43 a long time ago,
was that when he's made his debut? Was it?
Yeah, I think against Brett Seisland, where there was parts in his game that I still think need to be improved a little bit. But in saying that, he's extremely dangerous, and like all the pressure is on Neil Magny here. He's getting a massive opportunity. I think that Neil Magny's going to win the fight. I think he's going to stop him via submission as well. So I'm going to pick Neil Magny submission, maybe the middle part of round 2.
Okay, I like it. All right. I'm happy. You know, Craig White, nice guy, top bloke. Interviewed him as well. He jumped on to give me some of his time, and he is one of those guys. Like he could catch Magny out with a submission. You know, because he has got a very good submission game. You know, Magny, I think, will want to keep it standing. In my honest opinion, I don't think Magny will want to bother taking it to the ground, just because you're opening up the opportunity for that possibility of a submission. Why bother when you should keep it standing? The reach isn't that big of a difference. They're both two lanky daddy long legs. That's what I called them anyway. And I think maybe Magny might just be a little bit crisper in the striking. He might be a little bit cleaner. And I think Magny might... I'm going to go Magny. I'm not saying Craig can't win. I think Craig, if he goes to the ground, has got a very good chance of catching Neil Magny with something. But I think Magny can take this. But Craig's tough. Craig can take a kicking, you know. So I'm going to go Neil Magny decision. I just think Craig can get through it. I think Craig could maybe get the jump in the guard or take it down. You know, if it's getting a bit rough, maybe. But I'm looking forward to seeing how he performs, big time. Looking forward to how he steps up and see how he does. But I'm probably going Magny decision. And it's not a big difference, but I'll probably just go Magny decision. I just think it's one of the things, change of opponents sometimes can put like a Magny who's prepping for Gunnar and Nelson off a little bit because you've not prepped for that. So you have to be a little bit more cautious with your strike, the way you fight, because you're not sure what he's going to bring, if that makes sense. We can't prep for it. Main event, though, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, Darren Till. Heck of a matchup. We've heard the talk, we've watched the footage, we've looked at it all. Man, Darren Till's got a big fight here. Like he talks the talk, walks the walk. So far, so good. Biggest test. Wonderboy is a horrible test for anyone. Horrible test. He's so awkward and difficult to figure out and get your timings with him and figure him out and just beat him. Man, like Masvidal did a pretty good job in that scrap, but Masvidal's a very good fighter as well. But man, Darren Till, man, can he catch Wonderboy? Can he catch him with the striking? Can he land enough? Can he get the timing? Can he close him down? That's the big question. Can he close Wonderboy down? It's going to be in a smaller cage, I think, because not in the pay-per-view cage, which is always bigger. I think it's going to be small. So maybe that does help Darren. But 5-round fight. I don't see a lot. Won't see double legs from Wonderboy. We'll see, you know, he'll keep it standing. So yeah, man, it's not an easy one this for me, but I'm gonna go Wonderboy. I'm gonna go crazy. Oh my gosh, Wonderboy finish. I think Wonderboy can maybe stop Till in the 4th or 5th round. Just counter strikes. Like, Wonderboy has a great talent for learning your patterns and learning to counter in the fight. So, like, if Darren Till has a sequence of like a jab, straight hook, Wonderboy has a talent to get that step back, cut an angle, and catch it. He has such a good talent for that, and I think maybe Till might get caught with that. Yeah, man, it's not easy to say it, but I'm going to go out there and put it out there, man. What's your thoughts on it, bro?
Yeah, when I first had the matchup, I was very, very high on Stephen Thompson. I thought this is a really bad matchup for Darren Till. Now, I'm not. I think,
bro, you're breaking
personally,
up.
I think.
Wait there, Will. You're breaking up there, bro. There. Try and talk now.
Good. All good. All good.
Yeah, carry on. So you said you weren't big on.
No, I'm not been like on the hype train of Darren Till. There's a lot of people that think he's the next coming, like the kind of next Conor McGregor, the way he's kind of coming through and saying, "I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that." I don't know what it is. Some people have bought into it. I've not. Yeah, I just don't think beating now Cerrone's a good win. If you beat Donald Cerrone and you have it in your record, it's a legit win. And the way he did it as well was devastating. I think that Donald Cerrone openly admitted that he didn't know who Darren Till was, never watched anything about Darren Till, and it bit him in the arse. When you go back and you watch the fights with Yasin Ayari, with Bojan Velikovic, these are guys that more on Bojan's side. He caught Darren Till with some shots, and he ultimately could have won that second round in that fight. The one thing that scares me with Darren Till is he thinks like Conor McGregor, like he's saying, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And that's scary when you've got guys that 100% believe they're going to do that. That's the one thing that's thrown me off. Andy has big power. He's a massive, massive dude as well. That stepping elbow that he did in, I think he caught Dalby with it as well. And Velikovic as well. The stepping elbows, massive, massive shots. Stephen Thompson is the hardest puzzle, I think, to face in the welterweight division. I think these are the two best strikers in the division personally as well. Technically, from the karate background, and you've kind of got the Muay Thai kickboxing of Darren Till. It's one of those fights, I think, that if Darren can't finish early, I think he's going to struggle late. But he's fighting at home, and everything is going to be geared towards that guy. And it's hard picking Wonderboy, knowing that it's the mentality thing that's completely thrown me off with Darren Till here. And he's got the skills, obviously, to pay the bills. But I think after the first 5 to 7 minutes, if he hasn't put a lick on Stephen Thompson, I think he's going to struggle. Because Thompson has been there, he's been in the big championship fights, he's faced adversity, he's been knocked down, looked like he was going to be out of the fight, came back into the fight. But if he starts establishing, like one of my favourite performances that I've ever seen live, and I've been in a lot of fights, was Wonderboy in Vegas against what's his name again? Oh, Jake Ellenberger, that's the name.
Yeah.
And it was just beautiful. It was seamless. It flowed together so beautifully.
Disgustingly delicious acting.
It just flows. His kicks flow. Yeah, it's just like you don't know when they're coming. Sometimes you can see when the spins are coming, but it's so quick, so snappy. But this is a different guy. Darren Till is a totally different guy. It's a really interesting fight, and I'm going to pick Wonderboy because he is the guy that I've when I first heard this match, I thought this is a tough one for Till. It's in Liverpool though, but I'll be honest with you, the mentality of Darren Till and the confidence is completely shutting down my willingness to pick Stephen Thompson. And the guy's not even throwing punches. I'm not even going on his actual skills. It's just his mentality and how he's seen it. That shit scares me. Like when people can see things happening, like Conor McGregor. That's one of the things. You can say what you want about Conor McGregor. From the minute he came into the UFC, he's believed he's going to do this, and this, and he's went and did it. Darren Till thinks the exact same thing. And he says he's going to take him out inside 2 rounds. And who am I to sit here and say that he's not going to do that? Because he absolutely could do it.
Yeah, he could, yeah.
But Till early, Thompson late. I'm going to go Thompson late. But but who knows? It could be a kind of hometown decision for Darren Till if it gets really close. But I'm going to pick Wonderboy.
Yeah, it's going to be sick.
That's a really hard pick, actually. See, thinking about it now, holy shit.
It's going to be sick. It's going to be sick. That fight's going to be... Yeah, it's going to be insane. Okay, then let's look at the bets. Will, what bets should people be looking at for this fight card? Is there anything out there that you're suggesting that might be good or kind of safer bets to put on?
I think Darren Till's going to be a popular bet this week. He's the underdog. Anytime you've got an underdog with, like I say, the confidence that the guy's oozing at the minute, people will bet him. If people bet him down low enough, I might bet Stephen Thompson if it gets close to even money. But it's a tough fight. I think Arnold Allen is one that I really want a good number on. If I can get a number on that guy, I'll be all in on him. Who else is there? Nordin Taleb, I think, is a good bet if you can get a good number. Tom Breeze, I think if you're super confident and you think you can take out Dan Kelly, I think you could get decent odds as well. I think people will be on Molly McCann. I think Carlo Pezzoli is an underdog. I think, for me, I think I'll maybe have one or two bets, and then I'll have maybe a two-team parlay, a two-guy parlay, and try and go like I did last week. I went with, I don't even want to talk about it, Felipe Silva.
What was he playing at?
Oh my God. I had Felipe Silva and Vicente Luque as a two-team parlay, and then he was on his way to like a 30-25 and then lost that fight. I had Diego Rivas, which was a really bad bet in my
How did he not? What were them two playing at that night? Rivas should have batted him.
Yeah, and then my most confident play the whole night was Gabriel Benitez, and he did awesome. But I think I'll probably pick two straight and maybe have one parlay. But it's hard to see until the odds come out. I think that this one specifically is a tough card to bet on and be confident in my opinion.
Because some of the matchups, so again, might be underdog time, you know.
Yeah, I think it could be underdog. It might be one of these weeks where a lot of underdogs come through.
And then, last but not least, gosh, let me get my questions, ladies and gentlemen. Questions. Let me jump on here, bro. Let me get it up. And not just do the questions. Okay. So we had. Oh gosh, gotta scroll down. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Give me one moment. Here we go. So we had our boy Greg drop a message here. His Twitter handle UK1 Man Wolfpack. Bit of a mouthful. Come on, Greg, sort out some. And his question relates to the fight card coming up: Till versus Wonderboy. What's next for the what's the next step for the eventual winner? Usman title eliminator.
It's all depending on what Woodley's going to do.
Well, no, because RDA's fighting Colby for the interim, isn't he? Yeah. So it'll have to be that winner will have to fight Woodley.
Who knows how long Woodley's going to be out for? He says he's not going to be out long, but he's been out long enough now, and who knows? But you'd have to think that the winner of this one has to face Usman. You can't not let Kamaru Usman fight one of these top 5 guys. I mean, Darren Till has got. I think Stephen Wonderboy Thompson not the number 1 contender. He's the number 1 guy.
Yeah.
So how can you not give Usman that same opportunity to face a guy higher up? So I think realistically, I don't know whether Darren Till wants to face someone like Kamaru Usman. I still think, even though Usman didn't look great last night, I still think he's the guy in that division to give people problems. So I think that's probably where they're going to go. But I didn't expect Colby and RDA for the belt, being honest with you.
No, not did I.
So who knows the way they're going to go. But I think when you look at it realistically, I think that the winner of this one has to face Kamaru Usman next.
And maybe the loser of the RDA Colby fights, Horvey.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. And then we have, we've already spoke about it, but we had Stephen Pipes send a message. He's at Pipe Stephen. Said, please give some time to discuss Craig White and if Magny is about to receive an unpleasant surprise in the form of a loss. We've already covered him, but I thought I'd give a shout out to the tweet that he sent there. Again, big props to Craig White. Looking forward to it. Really nice bloke to speak to. And when you get those nice guys and the good guys get the opportunity on the UK scene, like Jimmy Wallhead as well, he was another one that I think we're all made up for him. So we had another one here. So Jimmy the Drunk, or his Twitter handle is at Parole Proud. So it's Parolee Proud. he did a couple of questions. So we're going to go with the first one. They're saying, can you think of any fighters that you consider to be a jobber at first, but went on to be a champ or even a legit contender? My initial response, bro, was RDA. You know, he had a really, at the beginning of his career, did not go too well in the UFC. It looked like he was potentially not going to be sticking around too long, and he turned it around in a way that blew me away to get that 155 belt. And now at 170, he is kicking ass as well, man. So that was my one for the cat. I don't want to ever see jobber to him, but guy that didn't do so well. Was there anyone that comes to mind for you that...
I didn't expect like Neil Magny to be where he is. When you watched Ultimate Fighter, he was a very basic fighter. And I never in the month of Sundays expected that guy to be a top 10 welterweight in the world, and a successful one with some big wins on his record as well. So yeah, that'd be somewhere. I know he's not in kind of title contention, but he's a recognised top 10 welterweight in the world, and that's one of the best divisions the UFC has as well. So fair play to that guy.
And the other kind of flip on that, he said, was basically someone who was meant to be someone who blew it. Basically, he came in as a potential future champ, and then was a big hype behind him, and it fell apart for him. My initial thoughts went to Mr. Will Brooks coming into the UFC. Did not perform ever perform. That was like he's so profound. That's the first name that came to my head. Is there anyone that you've had a chance to kind of bring to the forefront?
Hector Lombard.
Yes,
talking about the same kind of Hector Lombard. When he first came in, people were thinking, right, this guy's going straight to the top. He's going to be facing Anderson Silva, and so on and so on. So like, it's those guys that come in from other organisations usually that you're usually perking on and thinking they're going to go and do the business. So Hector Lombard was kind of who I thought, when trying to think through the last hour we've been doing this. It's a hard question to think about, but Hector Lombard kind of came to my mind during the show here. So
that's a good one, that Hector Lombard. Like that, bro. And that's all the questions. Thank you everyone for dropping them in. Again, we're going to be in Liverpool this week. If you're about in Liverpool for the event, you drop us a message on any social media format. We'll be happy to let you know where we are. We can meet up again for the competition. Do the thing that I said before, which was to subscribe to it. Let us know you did it, and we'll let you know. We'll draw the winner on the Friday or something, and we'll arrange to meet up on the Saturday to give you the tickets. But yeah, folks, thanks so much for your time. Will, any last messages?
Just keep an eye out, because we're going to be doing things down in Liverpool. I know we're going down to enjoy the fights, but we're working on hopefully getting some really pretty big interviews. We're thinking that Kevin Lee's coming across. Now that guy's always an awesome interview. We've did him in the past. Aljamain Sterling, we're probably going to get something with other things floating about as well. So keep an eye out. Like I said, and what John said, like if you're in Liverpool and you want to come and speak to us and sit down, have a drink of pop and just talk some fights for half an hour, then by all means get in touch with us. We're going to be down there from, I think are you there from Wednesday?
Wednesday I'm there from. Wednesday
John's there from Wednesday. I'm there from Thursday afternoon. So and then we're there all the way through till Monday. So yeah, hit us up if you want to talk some fights, and if you're going to a Liverpool card, even if you're going to the Bellator card, which we forgot to mention, which is a really good card as well, which we can probably actually watch on the Friday night.
You can now watch, yeah.
Awesome. Enjoy the fights this weekend, and we'll see you all very, very, very soon. Enjoy the fights.